Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Power Distribution System online classes. This is lecture number 6. Contents of our today's lecture are: today we will develop the sequence equivalent circuit for different components of power system, that includes Y delta load. Then we discuss the sequence circuit of transmission line. Then we discuss sequence circuit of three-phase generator. Then sequence circuit of three-phase power transformers, then sequence circuit of unsymmetrical series impedance. And after developing the sequence equivalent circuit of different components of power system, then we develop the sequence equivalent network. These are the contents that we discussed today. In order to develop the sequence circuit of these components, we need a proper derivation, and we will convert the phasor form of these components into their sequence form, so that require the proper derivation of their expression. We will here derive only expression for Y delta loads, and then we use the same approach to develop sequence equivalent circuit for rest of the four components. We will just write the expression, the final result, and draw the circuit, and then I will summarize all those circuits that we had developed during this discussion, and then we see how to develop sequence networks. Once we have gone through all this discussion, then we will be able to discuss the unsymmetrical fault, that will be the topic of next lecture. So let's start from the sequence circuit of Y and delta loads. Sequence circuits of Y and delta loads. Here we take the example of Y connected load at the start, then we extend the result to the delta connected loads. In this diagram, a Y connected load has been shown. This is a symmetric Y connected load, as all the phase impedances are equal to ZY. Further, the neutral point of this load is connected to ground through an impedance Zn. So here the line currents IA, IB and IC, their sum will be equal to IN. That current will flow through that path which is between neutral and this ground. Okay, that current is IN, and in our previous lecture we have seen that the neutral current is equal to 3 times of IA0 sequence. When this current will pass through this impedance Zn, it will cause a voltage drop across Zn in this polarity. Now if system is balanced, then the reference doesn't matter whether we are measuring our phase voltage with respect to neutral or ground. So both mean the same voltage. But it is not the case in case of unbalanced condition when neutral is connected to ground through an impedance, because now the voltage between phase and neutral, this voltage VAN, VBN, VCN, will be different from voltage between phase and ground. So here to mention the voltage between phase and ground, we use a voltage with single subscript. So the voltage that will exist between phase A and ground, we write it as VA with single subscript. So VA here will become equal to VAN plus VN, voltage from phase A to neutral and voltage from neutral to ground due to this current IN. In case of perfectly balanced condition, the sum of three currents IA, IB and IC will become equal to 0. No current will flow through this path, no voltage will appear over here, then VA will become equal to VAN. But here we are dealing with unbalanced condition, so that's why we use the VA voltage. Now if I write the three equations for voltage VA, VB and VC, those three equations will be: VA is equal to VA2N plus VN. Similarly, VB is equal to VB2N plus VN. VC is equal to VC2N plus VN. I have written these three phase equations from above circuit. You can readily verify these three voltages are equal to the sum of phase to neutral voltage plus the neutral voltages. So if I further write these voltages, we can write them as VAN is equal to ZY IA plus VN is equal to IA plus IB plus IC into impedance Zn. So that is current IN, the sum of three current. Similarly, if I write the second equation in detail, that will become ZYB plus IA plus IB plus IC into Zn. Further, the third current is, so now if I rearrange the coefficient of similar current, so final form of this equation will become, the first equation for voltage VA will be Zy plus Zn into IA plus Zn into IB plus Zn into IC. So by using this symmetry in equation, we can write the equation for VB and VC in the same way. That will be, because now current is in phase B, so we write it as ZNIA plus Zy plus Zn into IB plus Zn into IC. Similarly, Zn into IA plus Zn IB plus Zy plus Zn IC. So purpose of writing these three equations in this form, so that we can convert these three equations into its equivalent matrix form. So let's move to the next step. So if I write these three equations in matrix form over here in the available space, so that we can keep these current in view as well as their matrix form. So left side of the equation is phasor voltage vector, that is VA, VB, VC, three phasor voltages, and the right side of the equation can be written as the product of impedance matrix into phasor current vector, and that impedance matrix will be first row Zy plus Zn, second entry Zn, third entry Zn, similarly second row, third row. So here we can see the impedance matrix is a symmetric matrix. Here we can write these three matrices with their identifiers. So this phasor vector can be written as VP, P stands for phasor, that is equal to ZP phasor impedance matrix into IP current phasor matrix. Now this matrix represent this circuit in phasor form, and when the currents will become unbalanced and voltages are unbalanced, then we want to resolve this circuit into its sequence equivalent circuit. So what does it mean? It means we want to represent the voltages with their sequence components, current with their sequence components. Let's see what is the coefficient matrix or impedance matrix which is relating sequence current with the sequence voltages. So to do that, let's write this VP phasor voltage and IP phasor current in terms of their sequence component. So we know that phasor voltage is equal to A times sequence voltage vector, VS stands for sequence voltage vector. Similarly, phasor current is equal to coefficient matrix A multiplied by current sequence matrix. Now if we substitute the value of voltage phasor vector and current phasor vector from these two equations in above equation over here, we get coefficient matrix A multiplied by voltage sequence vector, that is equal to phase impedance matrix ZP into coefficient matrix A multiplied by current sequence matrix. If this equation is multiplied with A inverse from left side, we get here the product of A inverse with A will be identity matrix. When multiplied with Vs, so we are left with voltage sequence vector, that is equal to this product of A inverse Zp into A into current Is. Now as this matrix equation describe this circuit in phasor form, in the same way this matrix equation describe the same circuit in sequence form. How we can say this thing? Look here, in this equation we can see a impedance coefficient matrix Zp is relating phase currents and phase voltages of this system, and here another coefficient impedance matrix is relating sequence current with the sequence voltages. So this impedance matrix is known as sequence impedance matrix ZS. Now we had a set of formulas that can be used to convert the phasor form of voltage, current and impedance into their sequence form. So this equation is used to convert the sequence value of voltages into the phasor value and phasor into the sequence component. This equation is used to convert phasor form of current into sequence component and sequence component into phasor form. Just by multiplying this equation A inverse, we can get the inverse function. In the same way, this product gives us the sequence impedance matrix. By using this equation, we can convert phase impedance matrix into sequence impedance matrix. Now once we will be able to solve this multiplication, we can move towards the next step, that will be to draw the sequence equivalent circuit, because from this circuit we have developed the phase matrix equation. Then these phase matrix equations has been used to develop sequence matrix equation. Now from these sequence matrix equation we are going to develop the sequence circuits. So this is the procedure that we are going to adapt in order to develop sequence circuit of all the components of power system. So derivation will be done only at this stage. On later stages we are going to write the final result. So now let's see what is this product. A inverse ZP into A. Sequence impedance matrix is equal to A inverse phasor impedance matrix into A. Now if I substitute the value of these three, we can write it as 1 by 3 1 1 1 A square 1 A square A. This is A inverse matrix multiplied with ZP. Now to have a simple multiplication, we can split that ZP into sum of two matrices. First matrix will be ZY 0 0 0 ZY 0 0 0 ZY plus Zn into matrix A 1 1 1 1 A square A 1 A square. Don't forget the difference between matrix A and A inverse. Students normally get confused between these two matrices and just replace A with A inverse or A inverse with A. So memorize these two matrices because we are going to frequently use these two matrices in our discussion of unsymmetrical fault analysis. Now we are going to multiply these two matrices with each other. If we look at this matrix by taking ZY common, so that will become identity matrix. So here we can write it as A inverse matrix into ZY into identity matrix into A matrix plus A inverse matrix multiplied by, if I take Zn common, the rest of the matrix will be in which all the entries are 1. We can write it as 1's matrix into matrix A. Now the first part is very simple. If I take the scalar ZY as common, then this will be A inverse into identity into A and final value will be identity matrix. So we can write it as this thing will become ZY into identity matrix plus this product. If I take Zn common, that product of A inverse matrix that consists of all ones into matrix A, that will be equal to a matrix in which only the first entry will be 3 and all other entries will be 0. So that can be proved by multiplying these three matrices. If I write this here for your assistance, you can do it at your end. 1 by 3 into 1 1 1 into 1 1 1 1 A square A 1 A square. So how we can prove that this thing is equal to this matrix? So use this identity that the sum of A plus A square plus A cube is equal to 0. Here A cube can also be written as 1. A square plus 1 is equal to 0. This is identity that we can use over here. Now if I write the final form of ZS by combining these two matrices, so our final result will be the sequence impedance matrix ZS will be ZY plus 3 times Zn 0 0 0, here only ZY 0 0 0 ZY. So that is sequence impedance matrix for that phase impedance matrix for our Y connected load. Now let's put this value back to the equation in previous slide. Here we are going to substitute the value of ZS. We can write it as VA 0 sequence, VA positive sequence, VA negative sequence, that is sequence voltage vector Vs. It is equal to Zs multiplied by sequence current vector. Now we have three equations for three sequences. If I write those three equations and draw their corresponding circuits, so we have our final result. So let's draw those circuits. So corresponding to the first equation, which is VA0 sequence is equal to ZY IA0 sequence plus 3Zn IA0 sequence. By using this equation, we can develop a circuit that will consist of an impedance ZY in series with an impedance 3Zn and the voltage will be VA0 sequence and the current through this circuit will be IA0 sequence. This is the neutral point. So here this voltage from terminal A to the ground, that voltage is equal to the voltage drop across ZY due to current IA0 sequence, this term. Then the voltage drop across 3Zn due to current IA0 sequence. So this is known as zero sequence circuit of this Y connected load. Similarly, for positive sequence, VA positive sequence is equal to ZYIA positive sequence. So if I draw it circuit, that will be a circuit in which impedance is ZY. A current IA positive sequence will cause a voltage VA positive sequence across that impedance ZY. So this circuit is known as positive sequence equivalent circuit of Y connected load. And finally, the negative sequence, VA negative sequence is equal to ZY from this equation, IA negative sequence. And if I draw its equivalent circuit, that will be similar to the equivalent circuit of a positive sequence. So in this circuit, we can see here a current IA2 will cause a voltage drop of VA negative sequence across negative sequence impedance ZY. So these three are known as sequence equivalent circuit of our original Y connected load. So this was the zero sequence, positive sequence and negative sequence. So these are the three sequence equivalent circuit. Now there are few things to discuss over here before moving into the next section. Impedance in zero sequence circuit is equal to ZY plus 3 times of Zn. Positive sequence impedance, that is equal to ZY, same is for negative sequence. So important thing to note, the impedance Zn, which is connected between neutral and ground, only appears here in this zero sequence circuit. This impedance neither appear in positive sequence nor in negative sequence. Now question is, why Zn only appears in zero sequence circuit, neither it appeared in positive sequence nor in the negative sequence? The reason, because positive sequence and negative sequence, these three currents are balanced in such a way that their phase difference is 120 degree. So when these three currents come to the neutral, their sum becomes zero. So these two currents, positive sequence and negative sequence, will not be able to flow through this neutral path. Due to this reason, neither this impedance Zn appear in positive sequence circuit nor in negative sequence circuit. But on the other hand, the zero sequence current, which is equal in magnitude and as well as in phase. So the zero sequence current of phase A, phase B and phase C, all these three currents will combine at this neutral point and will flow into the neutral path. So that's why this impedance only appear in zero sequence. This is the first thing that we have addressed. Next thing, this impedance does not appear as it is in zero sequence. Rather, it appears as 3 times of Zn. So why it is appearing as 3 times? Because in actual circuit, 3 times of zero sequence current was flowing through Zn, a single impedance Zn. But in this circuit, single current IA zero sequence is passing through 3 times of Zn, so that the voltage drop between neutral and ground must remain same. So voltage drop here, Vn is equal to 3 Zn IA zero sequence. Voltage drop here is also same, 3 Zn IA zero sequence. Okay, this was the discussion regarding the impedance connected to the load. Next thing, if we connect the neutral with ground through zero impedance, that is known as solidly grounded system, then the three sequence equivalent circuit, zero, positive and negative, these three equivalent circuits will become similar to each other. There will be no difference among these three circuits. Next thing, if we make this Zn open, break Zn over here, so that Zn will become infinity. If we put infinity over here, that will make this circuit open, broken at this point. So it means now zero sequence current will not be able to flow. As there is no zero sequence current, there will be no zero sequence voltage drop. So zero sequence will not exist in that circuit, because zero sequence current is not there, zero sequence voltage will not be there, and we have no zero sequence. But positive sequence and negative sequence is not going to change. They will remain as it is, whether this neutral is present or not, whether this neutral is connected or not, or whether this impedance is there or not, because it is independent from neutral to ground connection. So now if neutral is floating in this Y connected load, then this zero sequence circuit will become, if I make this neutral open over here, this is the situation. 3Zn impedance will also become open in this circuit, that is infinity. So this current is0 sequence will become equal to 0. So there will be no voltage, so voltage will also become equal to 0 in that situation. So here if we open the neutral circuit, then this Y connection has these three equivalent circuits: 0, positive and negative. 0 sequence will be open, positive and negative remains unchanged. Now let's move towards the delta connected loads. In order to analyze delta connected load, here I will draw a delta connection. Here is a balanced delta connected load where impedance in all three phases are equal to Z delta. Now for this Z delta, we can convert into its equivalent Y. This is the equivalent of that three phase delta. The impedance over here will be Z delta over 3. So these three impedances will be same. Okay, now we can see here these two circuits are exactly equivalent to each other. It means if we develop sequence equivalent circuit for this Y connected impedances with neutral point floating condition, so that will result exactly the same sequence equivalent circuit that exists for this delta circuit. So and sequence equivalent circuit for a floating neutral Y we have already seen here. If we make the neutral open, these are the three sequence equivalent circuits. It means no need to repeat this derivation process. We can directly use the results. Here we can develop the three equivalent circuit for the delta connection starting from 0 sequence. So that will be 0 sequence equivalent circuit. No current will be here for 0 sequence. For positive sequence, here is a positive sequence and then negative sequence, the negative sequence circuit of that delta connected loads. Now before moving to the next component of power system, here I want to mention another thing. Look at these two circuits, positive sequence and negative sequence. These are exactly similar to each other. No difference at all whether neutral is connected or not. We have impedance over there or it is directly connected. Positive and negative will remain same, and the positive sequence impedance is equal to the phase impedance of that Y connected load. And in case of zero sequence impedance circuit will be equal to phase impedance plus 3 times of the impedance connected between neutral and ground. Now let's move towards sequence circuits of a symmetrical transmission line. Here is a symmetrical transmission line. In this diagram, you can see a three-phase symmetrical transmission line has been shown, where the ZAA is the self-impedance of three conductors phase A, B and C, and this ZAB is a mutual impedance between two conductors. So the self-impedance and the mutual impedance of the conductor phase A, B and C are equal. So that's why I have used only one identifier for the self-impedance of all the three phases, and similarly one identifier for the mutual impedance of all the three phases. In the same way, here we have a neutral conductor return path. In case of three-phase transmission line, as there is no overhead conductor used for the return path, neutral conductor, so in that condition ground will act as a return path. So neutral is always involved. Whenever unbalancing will happen, current will pass through that neutral path. If that neutral path does not exist, zero sequence current will not exist. Here the self impedance of neutral conductor, whether it is a physical conductor or a ground, the self impedance is Zn, and its coupling with all the three phase conductor is given by Zan. So again we have assumed that due to symmetry, the coupling of all these three phases with the neutral conductor is again equal. So that thing make this line a symmetrical line, mean impedances in all three phases, mutual and self as well as with the neutral, are equal. So in order to develop the sequence equivalent circuit for this transmission line, first we will have to write three phase equations, and then by using the same procedure that we have done in the previous section, we will have to convert those phase equation into the sequence equation, and then we can use the sequence equations to draw the final sequence circuit. So here, in order to write the phase equations, we will make a single phase loop circuit that will help us to write that equation in much easier way. Here in this loop circuit, we have considered phase A and its return path neutral. You can see here I have shown one self impedance in each of these two lines, and in addition to that I have shown three voltage sources. What are these three voltage sources? In phase A, the voltage drop will be due to current IA, and there will be induced EMF in that phase A, because we can see here in above circuit there is mutual coupling between the phases as well as between phases and neutral. So here this voltage induced in this phase A will be due to current IB. So I can write it as ZAB into IB. Similarly, voltage drop in phase A will be due to current IC as well. So I can write it as ZAB into IC. Similarly, there will be an induced EMF in phase A conductor due to current in neutral. So we can write it as ZAN IN. Here ZAB and ZAN are the mutual impedances between two phases and phase and neutral respectively. And in the same way, there will be three induced EMF in the neutral conductor due to the phase A, B and C. We can write those as ZAN IA, ZAN IB, ZAN IC. So from here we can write an equation. That equation will become VA to N minus VA prime N prime is equal to the voltage drop in this whole loop, that will be ZAA into IA plus ZAB into IB plus ZAB into IC plus ZAN into IN, and in the neutral conductor all these voltages will appear as voltage gain due to this current IN, because this current IN is actually flowing in this direction N to N prime. We are moving across this loop in clockwise direction. So this is the equation of the voltage difference between these two. Now here we know that the sum of three current IA, IB, IC, that will be current IN. Okay, but that N will be in opposite direction, that is the return current. But here according to our assumption we have considered IN in the same direction as our current IA, IB and IC. So that's why IA plus IB plus IC will be equal to minus IN in our case. So here that is. So now let's substitute the value of IN equal to minus IA minus IB minus IC. This whole equation will become, we can write this voltage as VA to A prime. By definition it is equal to this. That is, it doesn't mean that is the voltage drop between point A and A prime. No, this is 2N voltage with respect to neutral, their difference. So that can be written as ZAIA plus ZABIB plus ZABIC plus, here if we put the value into ABC we can write it as minus ZAN into IA plus IB plus IC minus ZAN into the same expression IA plus IB plus IC minus IN, that will become plus ZNN into IA plus IB plus IC. Here in this equation we have removed IN from our equation. Now all the impedances are given with respect to current IA, IB and IC in order to describe this voltage VA to A prime. So if we combine the coefficient of these three currents IA, IB and IC, the voltage VA to A prime can be written as, the coefficient of current IA will be ZAA plus ZNN minus 2 ZAN from these two terms and ZA, ZNN. Similarly, the coefficient of current IB and IC will be equal, so we can write it as for IB it is. So here we have written equation for VAA prime. Here we can simplify this equation by making few definitions. Let's do those definitions. Z as the self impedance as by definition, and Zm is as, so that will make the above equation much simpler. And here in this way we can write the three equations. VAA prime is equal to Zs IA plus Zm IB plus Zm IC. Similarly, VBB prime can be written as, similarly VCC prime can be written as. So now these three equations can be written in matrix form, and then we can convert that phasor matrix into sequence matrix, and then finally we get the sequence circuits. So the rest of it will be done by the students. From here the phasor matrix will be, and if we multiply that matrix from left side with A inverse and from right side with matrix coefficient matrix A, that sequence will be equal to, and in this sequence impedance, the zero sequence impedance Z0 is equal to Zs plus 2 times Zm. Z positive is equal to Z negative sequence, and that is equal to Zs minus Zm. Now from here we can conclude that for a transmission line, its positive sequence and negative sequence will be equal in all the conditions, and its zero sequence will be higher than its positive and negative sequence. The thumb rule is the zero sequence impedance will be probably 3 times of Z positive sequence. That is the relation that normally exists between zero sequence and the positive sequence impedance of the transmission line. So which can be seen from this formula as well. Zs plus 2Zm is equal to Z0, and Zs minus Zm is equal to Z1 and Z2. Z1 and 2 are actually positive and negative sequence impedances respectively. Now we are going to draw the sequence equivalent circuit of transmission line with the help of these three sequence impedances. Starting from zero sequence, this is zero sequence equivalent circuit of transmission line between point A and A prime, and the other conductor is return path N to N prime. Here we can see the return path has become an ideal conductor, but originally the return path also has a self impedance of mutual coupling with the phase conductors. So what had happened to the neutral conductor? Because we have added effect of neutral conductor into this impedance Zs and Zm in our definition. If we move back here, Zs is equal to Znn minus 2Zan. This is the impact of self impedance of the neutral conductor and mutual impedance between phase and neutral conductor. This effect has been added into Zs as well as into Zm. Due to this reason, now our neutral conductor has become an ideal conductor. Its impact has been added into this impedance Zs and Zm. Similarly, positive sequence circuit of transmission line. This is a positive sequence equivalent circuit of transmission line where the voltage between point A to A prime is the voltage drop across positive sequence impedance Z1 due to current IA positive sequence. In the same manner, we can draw the sequence equivalent circuit for negative sequence. For negative sequence, the equivalent sequence circuit is given over here. The voltage negative sequence voltage drop between point A and A prime is due to current negative sequence current IA across negative sequence impedance Z2, that is equal to Zs minus Zm. Now after developing the sequence equivalent circuits of symmetrical transmission line, let's move towards the generator and simply draw three sequence equivalent circuit for the generator. Sequence circuits of the synchronous machine. Here I will draw the diagram of the machine. Here in this diagram, a three-phase synchronous machine equivalent circuit has been shown, that is three-phase equivalent circuit. Here we can see the three phases consist of the induced EMF in series with the synchronous impedance of the machine. Synchronous impedance consists of synchronous reactance and the resistance of that phase. So this neutral of the machine is connected to ground through impedance Zn. So here it is important to note the direction of current through the neutral path. In case of load or any other point of the system, neutral current will flow into the ground from the neutral point. But here in case of machine, the three currents are flowing out of the machine because it is acting as a source. So that's why neutral current will flow from ground to the neutral over here in generator. Now let's draw three sequence equivalent circuit for synchronous generator without going into the detail of the derivation of those sequence equivalent circuit. So for zero sequence, this is zero sequence equivalent circuit. The zero sequence impedance is given as resistance of that phase plus j omega self inductance of the phase minus 2 times of mutual inductance of the phase. And positive sequence, this is positive sequence circuit of the generator, and here we can see an induced EMF is in series with the positive sequence impedance of the generator. So terminal voltage via positive sequence will be induced EMF minus voltage drop across this impedance due to current IA positive sequence. So the Z1 positive sequence impedance for the generator is given as R plus j omega Ls plus Ms. Ls is self inductance, Ms is mutual inductance, and sum of self and mutual inductance is known as synchronous inductance. So when multiplied with j omega will become synchronous reactance of the generator. And finally the negative sequence, this is negative sequence equivalent circuit of the generator, and the value of Z2 for generator is given as. So now we discuss these three circuits. If we compare these three circuits with each other, for generator we can see here in case of positive sequence we have a source of induced EMF in it. So the negative sequence and zero sequence both are passive. So first we will address this thing, why we have a source in only positive and there is no source in negative and zero. But in case of its phasor circuit we can see here the source is present in all the three phases, but in case of sequence form it only exists in positive sequence, neither in zero nor in negative sequence. The reason is generators are designed to produce a balanced three phase voltage. So internally the voltage will remain perfectly balanced no matter what is the degree of unbalancing in the terminal voltage. The generator terminal voltage may become unbalanced, but the internal induced voltage will never be unbalanced. Reason because generators are designed to produce perfectly balanced voltages. Once we have the balanced voltages, it will only have the positive sequence component. Its negative sequence and zero sequence will be zero. So that's why induced EMF has only positive sequence component. It doesn't have any zero sequence or negative sequence component in it. So that's why source is appearing only in the positive sequence circuit of the generator. Next we compare the sequence impedance of these three sequence circuits. Starting from positive and negative, we compare these two impedances. These are equal to the synchronous impedance of the generator. The resistance plus synchronous reactance known as synchronous impedance. But zero sequence impedance is a bit different from the synchronous impedance. So here this reactance is much smaller than the synchronous reactance of the machine, because here it is equal to the self inductance minus 2 times of mutual inductance. As in previous case we have seen that zero sequence impedance of transmission line could be as high as 3 times of the positive sequence. But in case of generator, the zero sequence will be smaller than its positive and negative sequence impedances. So generator has smaller zero sequence and transmission line has much higher zero sequence impedance. Now in this case, although the two impedances have been shown equal to each other, mathematically they come to equal to each other, but practically it is possible that the negative sequence impedance is slightly smaller than the positive sequence. But to keep the data simple, we normally assume that negative sequence and positive sequence both are equal. So these are the three sequence equivalent circuit for the generator. Next we move to the sequence equivalent circuits for the transformers. Sequence circuits of power transformers. Here the sequence circuit of power transformers depends upon the winding configuration, whether the winding is connected delta or in Y. That actually affect the zero sequence circuit of the transformer, and this delta Y configuration also add a phase shift in positive and negative sequence currents and voltages. Here we are not going to discuss this phase shift, we'll just focus on the impact of this winding configuration on the zero sequence circuit of the transformer. Here it is important to mention that positive sequence and negative sequence circuit of power transformer is similar to the transmission line. Without going into the detailed derivation of those expressions, to develop the sequence equivalent circuit, we directly draw the positive sequence and negative sequence circuit of power transformer. This is positive sequence circuit of a power transformer where the subscript capital letters are for high voltage side and subscripts in small letters are for low voltage side. So this is high voltage positive sequence voltage of phase A, high voltage side current positive sequence. This is the series impedance of the transformer. That we can say here the combination of low voltage and high voltage side leakage impedance. When we combine them together on high voltage side, that will be Z. Here we have an ideal transformer which has the ratio N1 N2, and then on the other side we have the low voltage side current and voltages in positive sequence. So this is positive sequence equivalent circuit of a power transformer. If we present all these voltages and currents in per unit, this impedance in per unit, then the symbol of this ideal transformer will disappear. So it will become a simple series branch. Here the positive sequence circuit of power transformer has become similar to the positive sequence circuit of a transmission line. So due to this reason, we say that the positive and negative sequence equivalent circuit of transmission line and transformers are similar when we represent the transformer equivalent circuit in per unit, that is similar to that of transmission line. Now in the same way for negative sequence, the negative sequence circuits, the negative sequence circuit of power transformer has shown over here. It is similar to the positive sequence, and if we represent all these currents, voltages and impedances in per unit, so its shape will become similar to the negative sequence circuit of transmission line. Here in this positive sequence and negative sequence circuit, the Z1 and Z2 both are same and equal to the series impedance of the transformer. Z1 is equal to Z2, and that is equal to Z series of the transformer. That Z series is also known as leakage impedance of the transformer, that consists of the transformer winding resistance and transformer winding leakage reactances. Now currents and voltage on both sides of a YY and a delta delta transformer will be in phase. So that's why these two circuits will work well. But if we have a delta Y or Y delta transformer, then we have a phase shift of 30 degree between two sides of the transformer. That phase shift will exist in voltages as well as in current. So in order to mention the sequence equivalent circuit in that condition, we will have to add the phase in this turn ratio as well. We can add the phase shift here in turn ratio depending upon what type of phase shift we had in our circuit. For example, in positive sequence, according to IEEE standard, high side quantities will lead, so low side quantity will have this phase angle minus 30 degree. We will have to retard the low side quantities. Similarly, here in case of negative sequence, the effect will be opposite to the positive sequence, so that will become advanced. When we say there is a phase shift in delta Y transformer and high side quantities lead the low side quantity by 30 degree according to IEEE standard, that definition was actually for positive sequence. When we are discussing the balance system, there is only one sequence that is present over there, and that is positive sequence. But here when our currents and voltage will become unbalanced, then negative sequence and zero sequence get also involved. Now here the definition of phase shift is more detailed. We will have to describe it in terms of sequences as well. According to IEEE standard, high side quantities, voltages and current lead the low side quantities by 30 degree in positive sequence, and high side quantities, currents and voltages lag behind the low side quantities by 30 degree in negative sequence. So that's why the definition will become more precise about that phase shift in case of sequence circuits of the transformer. Now we are going to discuss the zero sequence circuit. The zero sequence circuit depends upon the configuration of the winding of the transformer. So here we will have to discuss all the possible types of winding that could be in a transformer one by one. So before going into the details of zero sequence circuit of the power transformer, here we want to discuss the basics of the transformer. In a transformer, the ampere turns on two sides will always be equal. That is known as transformer action. The ampere turns voltage into current of primary side will always be equal to voltage to current of the secondary side. It means if secondary current is zero, means we have no load connected on the secondary side. In that condition, primary current will also be zero, because ampere turns on two sides must be equal to each other in order to satisfy this transformer action equation. But practically it does not happen. We have a small amount of current even in no load condition of transformer. That is due to the magnetization of the transformer. But ideal transformer does not require any current for its magnetization. In a transformer, it is not possible we have a current only at one side that does not have its replica on the other side. By keeping these basics of the transformer in view, now we are going to draw zero sequence circuits of the power transformer for different configurations. So let's start from the first configuration. Case number 1, we have a YY transformer where primary and secondary both windings are in YY and neutral of both Y are grounded. So here we assume that grounding could be solid grounding or grounding through some impedance. Here is a YY transformer where the neutral of these two transformers are grounded through a grounding impedance Z capital N and Z small n. So again here subscript capital letter and small letters are for high and low voltage side. We know for a zero sequence that will be equal in all three phases and also in phase with each other. If I draw the three sequence current of high side and low side, that will be IA zero sequence, IB and IC zero sequence. So these are the three currents on high voltage side and their counterpart will get induced on the low voltage side in this direction. These three currents will be out of the transformer zero sequence. So if I write, that will be, now these three currents are equal in magnitude as well as in phase. So it means at this neutral point all these three currents will get added together and flow into the neutral. So I can write it as this current is 3 time of zero sequence current. Okay, so direction will be from neutral to ground. And on the other side, this zero sequence current will flow from ground to neutral and direction of this current will be like this. So amount of this current will be 3 times IA zero sequence. Okay, so I capital A zero sequence and I small a zero sequence, these two are related with the turn ratio on two sides. And if we say these two currents are in per unit, so their magnitude will become equal. So now here we can see the zero sequence current can exist on both sides, high voltage side as well as in low voltage side. If it is into the high voltage side, then this zero sequence current will flow from neutral to ground, and on the low voltage side its counterpart will be from ground to neutral and out of the transformer. And if the current is flowing into the low voltage side, the zero sequence, so direction of current will be from neutral to ground here on the low voltage side here, and from ground to neutral in high voltage side, and the direction of all these zero sequence current get reverse, it will be out of the transformer. When transformer is part of the power system interconnected system, then current can flow in either direction from high to low or low to high side. Now if I draw the equivalent of this transformer in single phase, so now this is single phase equivalent of that transformer, and here we can see we have replaced the grounding impedance on two sides with 3 times. Reason because now we have only one current, that is IA zero sequence. So the voltage drop from neutral to ground, in order to keep that voltage drop same here, this voltage drop, we have increased the impedance to 3 times, so that voltage drop from neutral to ground in this situation is same as the voltage drop in this three phase equivalent circuit. If we use per unit system, then the IA on high side and IA on low side, these two currents will become equal, because these are with respect to the base current on two different sides of the transformer. So the circuit for zero sequence will become, so this is zero sequence circuit of the transformer if we represent all the voltage and current in per unit. And here this impedance Z, that is the leakage impedance of the transformer. Here this impedance is 3 times of grounding impedance on the high side. Here this is the 3 times of grounding impedance on low side. So the impedance in zero sequence circuit can be written as, that will be equal to Z0 is equal to Z series impedance, leakage impedance of transformer, plus 3Zn plus 3Z small n. So here is the Z0 of the transformer. So we can replace these three impedances with a single one, Z0, and that will be the value. If transformer neutral is solidly grounded, in that condition 3Zn on high and low side both will become 0, and the Z0 will become Z, the series impedance of the transformer, leakage impedance of the transformer. In that condition, the positive sequence, negative sequence as well as zero sequence circuit will become similar to each other. So it means transformer has same sequence circuit in case of positive, negative and zero. If transformer is YY with both the neutrals are grounded through zero impedance. So that is the only condition when the three sequence circuit of transformer will be same. Next we see the second case. Case number 2 is a YY transformer bank in which one side neutral is grounded, other side neutral is in floating condition. So we can treat this case as the special case of case number 1. In case number 1 we had a YY transformer bank where both the neutral were grounded. So here we had the case number 1, and if we assume that one of the neutral is in floating condition, that means we can open the neutral over here, let's say. So that can be shown over here by making this neutral open. So it means zero sequence current in low voltage side is no more there. So now in this final per unit circuit we will have to open this impedance. This impedance will become infinity, and when we add these three impedances, so that will become infinity. So our conclusion over here is when one of the neutral will become open, zero sequence current cannot exist, because here we can see the path has become open. This current will be zero. Same is the case here. This current will be zero. Okay. Now why the current has become zero when one of the neutral point will become open? It is very simple to explain. Current cannot exist only at one end of the transformer. If it is flowing through one of the winding, then its counterpart must exist on the other side of the transformer winding. Zero sequence current cannot exist here in this case. So this is our conclusion. Here is zero sequence circuit of case number 2. In this case, if both ends will become floating, it doesn't make any difference. The result will be same as case number 2. It means if transformer both neutrals are open, make this impedance infinity as well. So infinity plus infinity doesn't make any difference. So the net result is same. Case number 3 is a delta-delta transformer bank. Here we have a three-phase diagram of a delta-delta transformer. In these three phase currents on high side as well as on low voltage side, zero sequence current cannot exist in these three line currents on high side and three line currents on the low side. And we have already explained zero sequence current cannot exist. Here an important thing about this delta-delta connection, if due to any reason a zero sequence current get induced inside a delta, then the zero sequence current can exist inside the delta in terms of a circulating current like this. So that zero sequence current will circulate within the delta because it is equal in magnitude and phase. So it means at all the points the same current will flow towards the point and move onward. Its counterpart will get induced on the other side. So it means zero sequence current may exist, but if that get induced within the delta. Otherwise zero sequence current cannot come from the line currents. So these line currents cannot have a zero sequence component. Let's see how to draw its zero sequence circuit. This is zero sequence circuit of a delta-delta transformer. There is no path for the flow of current from this high voltage terminal or either from the low voltage terminal. But zero sequence current can exist in the form of circulating current. So that can be mentioned by showing a loop. So this loop shows that a current may exist within the delta, but it cannot either move out of the delta or flow into the delta. This is zero sequence circuit of a delta-delta transformer. Case number 4, we had a Y delta transformer bank where Y is grounded. It means the neutral of Y side is grounded. So if we draw this diagram, now here we have a three-phase circuit for a Y grounded delta transformer. Now its positive sequence and negative sequence will be same as the positive and negative sequence of any other transformer, but here we see its zero sequence circuit. In case of zero sequence, the zero sequence current cannot exist here in the line currents on the low voltage side or delta side. These currents cannot have a zero sequence component in it. But if we look on the other side, these three currents may have a zero sequence component, and that zero sequence component will get added at the neutral point, and from this neutral it will flow into the ground. So here this current 3 times I zero sequence may exist over here. The question is, a current can exist on the Y grounded side, but its counterpart cannot exist over there on the delta line current. So then how is it possible that this transformer is carrying a zero sequence current on the Y side, but its counterpart does not exist on the delta side? Actually, what is happening over here, the counterpart of the zero sequence current which is flowing through these three windings will exist in the form of the circulating current within the delta. Although that zero sequence current will not be able to come out of the delta, but it may exist in the form of circulating current within the delta. So it means we have path only from one side for the flow of zero sequence, that is from the Y grounded side of the transformer. If we draw its sequence equivalent circuit, this is the zero sequence equivalent circuit of a Y grounded delta transformer. Here we can see there is a path for the flow of zero sequence on the Y grounded side that will flow into the ground, but that current cannot move towards the delta side due to this open circuit over here. Zero sequence impedance that will be equal to series impedance of the transformer or leakage impedance plus 3 times Zn. If grounding has been done through zero impedance, then this Z0 will become equal to only Z series, mean the leakage impedance. So this is the leakage impedance of the transformer. Now case number 5 is Y delta bank of transformer, where the Y side is also in floating condition. One side is delta, other is Y floating ungrounded. Now that is a special case of case number 4. So in this diagram, this was the diagram for case number 4. If we remove the impedance connected between neutral and ground, so this will become the case number 5, Y delta transformer with Y side is ungrounded. As we can see here on the Y side, zero sequence current cannot flow, so it means its zero sequence counterpart cannot exist within the delta because there is no path for the flow of zero sequence current on the Y side, so that's why it cannot exist within the delta. How we are going to modify this circuit? We open this path. In this circuit, Z0 will be equal to infinity. It means zero sequence can neither exist on Y side nor on the delta side. We are going to summarize. First case was a YY transformer where both the neutrals were grounded. Its zero sequence circuit was. So here P and Q are the two ends of the transformer. So it means path exists for the flow of zero sequence current. And further, the value of Z0 is equal to the series impedance of the transformer plus 3 times Zn on high voltage side plus 3 times Zn on the low voltage side. All these impedances are in per unit. Second case, a Y grounded Y transformer, and in the same we also cover a YY transformer. This was the equivalent circuit, and Z0 effectively become infinity. Third case was a delta delta transformer, and we have seen for this delta delta transformer no path for the flow of zero sequence current exists, but current may exist in the form of circulating current within the delta if it get induced within delta. Fourth case was a Y grounded delta transformer. Its zero sequence circuit is shown over here. So it is connected to the reference on the side where we have Y grounded winding, and this circuit will be open on the delta side. It means zero sequence current can exist on the Y grounded side, and its counterpart will get induced within the delta and exist in the form of circulating current. But this current cannot go out into the line current from the delta, neither it can flow from the line side into the delta. So that's why this open circuit shows that current cannot flow across the transformer in this configuration. Here the Z0 is equal to the leakage impedance of the transformer plus 3 times the grounding impedance of the transformer Y grounded winding. Fifth case is a Y delta transformer where neutral of Y is floating condition. Because zero sequence current cannot exist on either side of this transformer winding. So from P to Q there is no path for the flow of current. This zero sequence impedance will be effectively infinity. Now I am going to show you the sequence impedance matrix of unbalanced load. Unsymmetric impedances means we have a load, let's say a Y connected load. A Y connected unsymmetrical load means ZA is not equal to ZB is not equal to ZC. For the simplicity we are assuming over here that neutral is solidly grounded. So if we write the equation by assuming that these are the three phase currents, line to neutral voltage, a line to ground voltage, that will become same because we have neutral and ground at the same potential. Three phase voltages are equal to impedance matrix multiplied by the phasor current matrix. In this matrix equation, if we write the phasor voltage and phasor current vectors in terms of their sequence vectors, it will become coefficient matrix A multiplied with voltage sequence vector is equal to phasor impedance matrix multiplied by A times sequence current vector. If we multiply this equation from left side with A inverse, it will become sequence voltage vector equal to sequence impedance matrix into sequence current vector. Now if we look at this ZS, that is the product of these three vectors. Now we are going to multiply these three vectors together. ZS is equal to A inverse into phasor impedance matrix into matrix A. If we multiply these three matrices, the final value of ZS will be 1 by 3 ZA plus ZB plus ZC, ZA plus A square ZB plus A times ZC, ZA plus A times ZB plus A square times ZC, and the rest of the two rows will be in the same manner. Here is this final form of Z sequence matrix. Now we can see in this matrix all the values are non-zero. Now if we substitute the value of ZS here in this equation and write the sequence voltages equation, that will become, due to unsymmetrical impedance in three phases, now the zero sequence voltage is dependent upon all the three sequence current, and similar is the case with the positive sequence as well as with the negative sequence. Those two equations are as, so these are the three equations. Now we can see here in positive sequence and negative sequence, these two voltages also depends upon all the three sequence currents. So that happened due to the unsymmetrical phase impedances. If these impedances will become symmetrical, means ZA is equal to ZB is equal to ZC, then this matrix ZS will become very simple. Only diagonal entries will be non-zero and all of the diagonal entries will become zero. So it means now zero sequence, positive sequence and negative sequence, these sequence will become independent from each other. We can verify from here if these three impedances are equal, that will become 3ZA with 1 by 3, it will become ZA. Here if we replace ZB ZC with ZA, that will become 1 plus A square plus A into ZA. So 1 plus A square plus A is equal to 0. So this entry will become 0. Same is the case over here. This will be 0. This entry will be 0. 0 over here, 0 over here. Only these diagonal entries will be non-zero and their value will be equal to ZA. So that will become a matrix that will make all the three sequence networks independent from each other. Now after developing the sequence circuits of all the components of power system, we will move toward the sequence networks. In a power system, now we are going to connect same sequence circuits of different components together to make a sequence network. So in this way we can develop positive sequence, negative sequence and zero sequence network for a given network. Let's see how to do that. As an example, the one line diagram of a system is given over here. In this one line diagram we can see with bus number 1 there are two synchronous generators connected. Then between bus number 1 and 2 we have transformer T1. Its winding configuration is given as delta Y grounded. Then we have a transmission line between bus number 2 and 3, and then another transformer T2 between 3 and 4 bus. This time the transformer winding configuration is Y grounded, and we can see from the symbol both side neutrals are solidly grounded. Then we had a motor connected to bus number 4, that is a synchronous motor, and a static load is also connected at the same bus 4. It is given that the generator configurations are: for generator 1 it is Y connected and neutral is grounded through some impedance, and here generator 2 is simply Y connected and this motor is delta connected. So here we had the configuration of the winding of different components. Let's draw its positive sequence, negative sequence and zero sequence circuits. In positive sequence network, we will replace all these components in that one line diagram with their positive sequence circuit. So resultant network will be positive sequence network. That circuit is also known as impedance diagram or the reactance diagram of the network. So when we were talking about a balance analysis like load flow analysis or simple nodal equations, so we have used an impedance model of the network. That impedance model was actually positive sequence model because there were no other sequences involved. That's why we haven't used any sequence name with those models and we just called it impedance model, but that was actually positive sequence impedance model. So at bus number 1, generator 1 impedance in series with generator source, that is G1, generator 2 impedance in series with the generator 2 induced EMF, and these two are connected with the reference. Then we have a transformer. If we assume that transformer impedance, all these impedances are given in per unit, so transformer will be represented with a simple reactance. Then we have bus number 2, transmission line model. If we ignore the resistance, then this is the transmission line reactance. This is bus number 2 and bus number 3. Now the transformer T2, here we have transformer T2, and finally bus number 4. With bus number 4 we have a load and a motor connected. So here is the motor impedance, the sequence impedance of the motor in series with the induced EMF or back EMF, and static load will be combination of a resistance and inductance. So here we had positive sequence circuit of that network. This is transformer T1, transformer T2 reactance, this is transmission line, motor and generator. So this is known as positive sequence network. Now we are going to develop the negative sequence network for the same system. In negative sequence network, we will replace all these components in this one line diagram with their negative sequence circuits. So let's start from bus number 1 and its connected components. This is bus number 1, generator 1 and generator 2. There will be no source of induced EMF in negative sequence network, so we will draw it simply with the reactance. Then come to the transformer. We know that the negative sequence and positive sequence circuit of transformer will be similar to each other. Then transmission line same as the positive sequence. Then the second transformer, and then finally we had a motor. There will be no induced EMF in the motor as well because motor induced EMF will be perfectly balanced. It does not have any induced EMF. Then we have static load, and this is the equivalent circuit. So let's mention different buses and components. So this network is known as negative sequence network. Now if we compare positive sequence network and negative sequence network, we already know that the impedances in positive sequence and negative sequence are equal for all the components except for generator and rotating machines. In that condition, negative sequence could be slightly smaller than the positive sequence, but we take it equal to each other to make our data simple. So if we assume that the two positive and negative sequence impedance of the rotating machine is same, then these two networks, positive sequence and negative sequence, are similar to each other except for induced EMF. If we remove those induced EMF, these two networks will become exactly similar to each other because the values of all the impedances are same. Next we develop the zero sequence. Now special attention is required while developing zero sequence network because we will have to consider the configuration of different windings as well for generators, for transformers, along with the neutral connection, whether it is connected or not. So here for zero sequence network we start from generator 1. So generator 1 neutral is grounded through impedance. So first of all, generator 1 zero sequence impedance. So this is the neutral point. and here between neutral and ground, because for zero sequence reference will be ground and for positive and negative sequence reference will be the neutral point, and impedance is connected over here. And next is for generator 2, this is the generator 2 impedance up to the neutral point, that is zero sequence impedance, and then neutral is open over here, so we cannot make its connection with the reference. So let's make a reference over here. This is our reference, so mean it is open from the reference end. So with bus number 1, this is generator G1 zero sequence, this is generator G2 zero sequence, and here we have 3 times of Zn for generator 1. So this is the zero sequence network. Next is transformer. Transformer T1 is a delta Y grounded transformer, and if we recall its zero sequence circuit, here is the zero sequence circuit of a Y grounded delta transformer. On delta side it will be open, on Y side it is connected to ground through impedance, that will be series impedance. If grounding impedance is involved, that will be added into that 3 times Zn. In our case, our transformer is solidly grounded. So let's draw this transformer. Its zero sequence will be open from delta side, but on Y side it is grounded, as this is the neutral point. It is grounded through zero impedance, it is solidly grounded, so make a direct connection with the ground. This is transformer T1, which is connected between bus 1 and 2. This is its zero sequence. Now come to the transmission line. Transmission line will be, zero sequence will be a series impedance, although this value will be 3 times of positive sequence and negative sequence value, but it will be simple series impedance. Then we had other transformer which is connected between bus 3 and 4. This time it is Y grounded. Let's see the zero sequence circuit of Y grounded transformer. This is the situation over here. This transformer, if grounded on both sides, will have a connection between two ends for zero sequence current, and impedance will be equal to the series impedance of the transformer plus 3 times of grounding impedance on two sides. Here we are going to develop that transformer impedance zero sequence circuit between bus number 3 and 4. This is transformer T2. This was the transmission line. Now next, first we draw static load. Its impedance will be similar to that, assuming that there is Y grounded load. So let's draw its impedance as it is. Although its configuration is not given, let's add that configuration as well. This load is connected in Y and with the neutral solidly grounded. So here we make its connection with the ground through zero impedance. Next is the motor, which is in delta connection, and in delta connection current cannot come out of the delta. There is no path for the flow of zero sequence current in this motor. So that's why this motor will be open circuit. This is the synchronous reactance of the motor, Z zero sequence for motor, and it has no connection with the ground because it is delta and there is no possibility for the flow of current in delta. Now this network is known as zero sequence network. Now if we compare this zero sequence network with positive and negative sequence network, it is quite different from these two networks. Here there are many open circuits in this network, and there is a possibility of disconnection of buses in this network. So this zero sequence network will always be different from positive and negative sequence network of power system. If for this positive sequence network, by inverting all these impedances, it will become admittance diagram. If we develop the Y bus and then use that Y bus to produce a Z bus by taking the inverse of that Y bus that we have developed from this network, this Z bus is known as positive sequence Z bus of the network. And remember, if we do the same thing with the negative sequence network, the resultant Z bus will be negative sequence Z bus. Normally for power system, positive sequence and negative sequence Z bus will be same, because except for these induced EMF, everything is same in these two networks. So it means the ZY bus as well as the Z bus of these two networks, positive and negative, will be same. And in the same manner, if we develop the Y bus for this network and then take its inverse, Z bus that we obtain here is known as zero sequence Z bus. That will be equal to zero sequence Y bus inverse. In previous case, that was the inverse of positive sequence Y bus. So in this way, it means we can develop three impedance matrices as well: positive sequence, negative sequence, and zero sequence for the network. So positive sequence is the same that we had used in our analysis of three-phase fault, and positive sequence Y bus was the same Y bus that we had used for the load flow analysis. This negative sequence and zero sequence we are going to use for unsymmetrical fault analysis, that we'll see in the next lecture. That is the end of the lecture. Thank you very much.